Hails from Finland, and this time we have some Finnish black metal here on Vinyl Monday. Celestial Grave is here with Vitriolic Atonement, the second album in line. And this one is 2022 release, fresh from the oven, whereas the previous one was 2019, also reviewed this year, however. So the band stays with its mysterious ways, even though they have released some photos from the band. It still keeps this very, very mystical approach to what they're doing. And that makes this album and the band, of course, more fascinating. This one was here indeed sent by the label, the Sinister Flame, and features, black vinyl, pretty basic, yet some nice visuals in the central area, having the album sides and whatnot. Very basic here these ways, but comes with a nice booklet, which is like this. There is not too much information regarding the band itself. However, you will find some of this information, like here it says 2018, 2021, but something like, well, this was written and performed and produced by the band. Some helpers here are mentioned. I recognize a couple of known names and some production ones, visual side and all that stuff. So there is information, but only in limited amounts. Now lyrics come in nicely visualized fashion here. Not exactly the most readable, mind you, but those who want to pay their or use their time and effort doing that, then you have this one with nice visuals along the way. Something that you really can't get on just streaming the music. As you can see, this booklet is pretty fancy and totally supports the mystic feeling with the band. However, like I said, there are band photos like this, which gives you a little bit of indication how does these guys look like. How do these guys look like? And I don't know, there's something very fascinating with this kind of a band when you have limited amount of information rather than just going overly theatric about it with, all kind of fancy clothing or just not releasing anything at all. So I guess I am interested more than in your typical band. But when it comes to the music, it gets more complicated. I'll try to guide you through while I'll show you the band's Metal Archive site on the background. However, here in the Metal Archive site, by the way, it shows you more or less 3 guys. I don't know what happened to one of the guys since it's not in the album photos, but it is what it is. I'm not here to guess that more than that. If you're wondering about the lineup, it just shows, well, one guy here, AVM, who is also mentioned in the booklet, as you might have noticed. Anyway, here is the track list for some 34 minutes of black metal. But what kind of black metal we're talking about, really? Not the typical kind, I guess it's worth mentioning. To sum it up easily, would be saying that this is somewhat melodic black metal with kind of a weird, odd riffs. That plus some heavy metal vibe. I would say actually this one has quite a strong heavy metal vibe to it, at least certain riffs when we're talking about. And in my opinion, coming from more old school ways than a lot of younger audience, I could say it's really a good thing. The thing here is with the old school vibes is that these guys are almost like paying tribute to a lot of older bands. And I think it works for the favor of the band. This is a step forward from the previous album, which was more on the fail side than good side, even though not outright bad. However, this album is a little bit more complicated than that to get into, because it's not really like some black heavy metal thing. It's not your typical melodic black metal thing, but kind of a combination of various ideas. And like I said, some of them are good, some of them are just outright odd, weird, and might get some time to get used to it. I gave this quite a few spins and I started, warming up, kind of a growing sense to this album, but I still have a hard time getting it into full extent, that is. The thing here is, this album having an unusual approach to black metal is a hard cookie to crack. While on the other hand, I'm fascinated by this somewhat mystic feeling to it, and I like the heavy metal feeling. Some of those weird ass riffs are or melodies are just like dropping the ball for me, and I'm like, okay, this is not exactly what I'm looking for. This is not the kind of music I'm into. So it's on the curveball constantly. It's like I'm on a razor blade, getting half cut on the other side, and the other side is of course there for the other parts. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but what I'm saying here is I kind of like it, and I don't. And I also am fascinated by these ideas, but it doesn't really help me to like the music, if that makes any sense. All I'm saying is that this is an interesting band, and if you are bored with your basic Norsecore, Norwegian and Swedish and whatever Nordic kind of a black metal, you want something different, but still, to maintain along the lines or genre of black metal, this is something that you should go for. Then again, if you don't really like the kind of a weird or unusual approach to black metal, I don't know if this album is going to work for you. Definitely fascinating, but is it all the way good? Not exactly. So a kind of a hard cookie to crack indeed. But there are links provided in the description box, so you can pretty much decide for yourself. Give this album a go, and all I can say is I hope you're not disappointed. But those who can really get into the unique type of melodies provided by this band are in for a treat. And if you like it, Sinister Flame, the label, has some goodness for you in the form of a physical product. So decide for yourself. All I can say, interesting band for sure, but still, in my opinion, a lot of in progress. This is all, folks. Take care and see you soon with more reviews coming your way.